The gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Lynch, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for holding this hearing. I want to thank the panel of distinguished witnesses. Thank you for coming before this committee to help us with our work. I also want to thank the previous panel, the families of the victims who had the courage and selflessness, I think, to, despite their pain, come here with the sole purpose of preventing other families from suffering a similar loss. So I thank them. Madam Chair, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a report and analysis conducted by Coctrane Bui, Alicia Palapiano, and Margot Sanger-Katz over at the New York Times. It's an analysis of 106 mass shootings since Columbine in this country. And I want to read an excerpt. It describes best what they found. To quote this report, if the key gun control proposals now being considered in Congress had been lost since 1999, 4 gunmen younger than 21 would have been blocked from legally buying the rifles they used in mass shootings. At least 4 other assailants would have been subject to a required background check instead of slipping through a loophole. 10 others might have been unable to steal their weapons because of the efforts required to encourage safer gun storage. And 20 individuals might not have been allowed to legally purchase the large capacity magazines that they use to upgrade their guns, helping them to kill, on average, 16 people each. Taken together, those 4 measures might have changed the course of at least 35 of those 106 mass shootings, a third of such episodes in the United States since the massacre at Columbine High School in Colorado. That New York Times analysis has found. And those 35 shootings killed 446 Americans. Mr. Suplina, there's been referrals made, or references made to the fact that someone could cause damage with a hammer or a knife. I would wonder if you could talk about AR-15 style firearms and their ammunition and how different they are and the greater vulnerability it creates in society. You talk about, I know you've written on this in the past, and if you could go over that for a bit, just to educate people who are not familiar with that type of weapon.
So this type of weapon, which is derived from a military military weapon, presents increased risk, as I believe the commissioner said earlier, because of their speed of bullet, their handling, their ability to accept high-capacity magazines, and they are designed and are advertised to be able to inflict a mass amount of damage in a short period of time. They are also unique in the damage that is done to the human body when you use one of these. A handgun, even at a sometimes larger caliber, won't do the damage to human tissue. I'm not a physician, but you did hear from one earlier who described in great detail what a semi-automatic rifle with multiple rounds can do. So these are unique threats. There's a reason why they are used in mass shootings, because those shooters want to inflict maximum damage.
Thank you. I do want to add a quote from a trauma surgeon at the University of Arizona who agrees with your assessment. He said that the damage for an AR-15 on the body, quote, looks like a grenade went off in there. Madam Chair, I am so sorrowful for the loss of Lexi Rubio and so many others, and so many we've heard in previous mass shootings, that I will support the package of restrictions that we will consider in the next couple of days here in Congress to restrict the use of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and I'll vote for the background checks that I think are necessary. And I respect my colleagues' rights to defend the Second Amendment. But I will note when in defending the Second Amendment, you have to go to military experts and battlefield commanders for advice on how to protect our kids while they're in school. We got a problem. We've got a problem. Think about that you're going to military battlefield commanders, combat veterans, for advice on how to protect our kids while they're sitting in school trying to learn. I just urge my colleagues to think hard on this and consider supporting the package of bills that we have before the Congress this week. Thank you, and I yield back.